All right, guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris Unholy Jesus. Yeah.
What's good, family? Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. And welcome back to another episode of the Media Hijack. This is episode 226. Before we get started, if you guys want to get some official Media Hijack t-shirts like this one, you can head over to themediahijack.com. Oh, almost froze. Grab some official Media Hijack t-shirts. Also, if you guys want to cast a replay for this live Twitch video, we're here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can cast a replay on YouTube the following day. And don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. Give us that 5-star frog splash. Alright, let's get started. First topic for the night, we're going to be talking about demonic possessions and black magic being blamed for a bizarre house fire out in Britain. You ever heard of this story? Britain. England, right?
Hello, governor. Is that right?
Harry Potter. That's Harry Potter, right? Britain people?
Yeah, that's it. It's Harry Potter land.
Harry Potter land. Alright, so in England, a man was rescued from a house fire, but things got weird really fast. So the man's name was Amir Mirakai, and he has been practicing black magic in his home. You know, when the firefighters arrived at his house, because it was a house fire, right? They said they found strange patterns on his floor, like weird symbols like written on the floor. They're like, what is all this? And they found like black bottles and candles everywhere. They're like, oh, this guy, he's off the rails. He's dabbling in black magic. And, you know, of course, they probably don't believe in stuff like that. But, like, the wild thing is, when they try to save him, he hissed at them like a cat. Like, he was like, hush, get off me. And it was like, what the hell? Yeah. Like, that's not a normal behavior for someone getting rescued from a fire. Like, you don't bite the hand to try to save you.
And for a human.
Yeah, and for a human. What are you doing hissing at somebody? You know? Yeah, so he said that he was possessed by a demon. And he said he was trapped inside his body. And this is the reason why he was like doing like a ritual. I guess he said he was trying to get free from it, but he said it's too late for him. He said it took over like his body to where he pretty much gave up spiritually. He's like, I'm done. I'm clocking out. Like, the demon got him. Damn. And you know, you hear some stories like serial killers, right? When they interview them, they say weird stuff like, when I'm killing this person, it's almost like that's not even me. It's something telling me to do it, but I'm not. It's not my normal self.
Yeah, like I'm playing co-pilot while somebody else just took the wheel and
right. It's like
went crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're just driving the vehicle and someone's telling them, do it, Billy.
All right.
Stab him 3 times in the neck.
Don't stop.
Don't stop until, you know, until his spirit is gone.
Right.
Yeah. And then, you know, he refused to leave. And then like, man, we're going to drag your ass out because we're not going to stay in this burning house. Dragged his out the house. Like, get over here, demon man. So then, like, they put the fire out. They spoke with neighbors about him being the neighbor, and then the neighbors like, they had like a bunch of bizarre claims saying he did weird stuff with black bottles.
Oh,
like the neighbors noticed him doing like magic. Like they could literally see this like from his window. This motherfucker's drawing shit on the floor.
Damn.
Praying to shit, whoever. But
he didn't close the curtains. Damn. Like, hey,
like my freak on here. Come on, man. We see.
Chill out, man. What are you doing, man? It's stank out here. What are you burning?
We see you and your buddies. Like, yeah, it smells like burnt skin.
We see you in there butt naked, drawing stuff on the floor. I would assume you have to be butt naked to do some ritual.
Yeah, they're like, where's your couch at? That's your living room. Like,
why do you put the couch away?
I don't need no furniture, you know? Magic is something you don't understand, neighbor.
Normie.
You don't know nothing about this. That's why your life is all crazy. But man, like, people actually really believe this stuff. And do you think something's actually really happening to them for them to go out of their way to learn rituals? And do you think something's actually really going on?
As far as like people doing like these type of rituals and occult stuff or whatever?
Yeah, like, do you think something's really happening in the background?
I don't know. I mean, possibly. I don't know. I mean, like, I've never had any experience or anything like that, but I've always wondered, like, hey, do some people just know more about this stuff than I do and actually have a knowledge of it, and that's why they seek it? Like, I mean, because there's a lot of people that believe in, like, just as far as, like, summoning something, whether it's good or bad, throughout the entire world. I knew a girl once that wanted to put a voodoo curse on me, so it's like, all right, so people do. Yeah, she told me, so I don't think it worked.
Like a bad curse?
Yeah, suppose she put a curse on me like, oh man, I think I was like a senior in high school when she put a curse on me.
What the hell?
I don't know, it was a voodoo curse, but I'm doing good so far. I mean, we
Did
all right.
You do something bad to her to where it's like, I'm gonna put a curse on you, big dog?
Nah, it's just like we was just dating and then it didn't go right. It just happened. It didn't work out, and she blew it up. Instead of being like, hey, it didn't work, let's move on. And
yeah, it probably didn't work because she told you she fucked up this spell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like what you cannot tell who you trying to curse. That's the number one rule probably.
Or she just bluffing.
Or that too, but she always was into that voodoo shit. Even when I first met her,
that's scary. You gotta watch out with some people, man.
Man, yeah. So actually, that's why I do have a story about somebody that kind of dabbled in that stuff. I've never seen her do it, but she seemed like she always told me she had an interest of doing it. And so when we did break up, she was like, "Okay, voodoo curse on you." Like she's like, I'm gonna put a curse on you. And I'm like, that ain't. We're just teenagers. Chill.
Yeah, for real. Like you're in high school. Like your life has just started barely.
And I didn't even cheat on her. There was nothing like that. It was just I couldn't make it to a date one time, and she thought I was lying. And my car broke down on 675. I was on the side of the highway, bro.
Camry, right?
See? Yeah, it's a Camry. It blew up in my face.
Like, sure, Chris. Of course, your car broke down when you're supposed to pick me up.
Sure.
Like, whatever. I got something for that ass. Best believe that. Yeah, speaking of like curses or people that dabble in black magic, like this is actually like really big in the Southeast Asia countries like Cambodia, Laos, Thailand. Like they a lot of people, they go to these people who practice like magic. I don't know magic and stuff, right? Like tarot readers or people that predict the future or people that put spells on people. There's this one story. This happened like when we were living in San Jose. Dude, I kind of remember this shit. It's like a bunch of old people were in like the kitchen, right? And one of our aunts got possessed by her dead husband. Like what's that noise?
Oh.
Man, that shit almost ruined my whole train of thought. Well, the wife got possessed by the dead husband, right? And the dead husband died in Cambodia. But they did something. They did some type of spell, and she got possessed by the husband. And then immediately she spoke in the husband's voice. And then the husband would go in the kitchen, right? Because he never seen like a modern kitchen before. So he's admiring like a modern kitchen like in America. It's like what? It's like you guys put pepper like in bottles, like crushed peppers. It's like that's interesting. I was like, whoa. I was like, it's like a different person speaking through her.
Damn.
And I knew something was off. I was a kid. I was like, this ain't right, man. There's something weird going on.
You sound like Triple H. Why are your voice deep?
Yeah, I was a child. I was like, what the hell? I didn't like. The reason why I was freaking out is because the parents like around her were freaking out. So it's like they knew something happened. Like the way they talk, I was like, what the hell? Did something just happen?
It's like they freaking out. I need to be freaking out.
Yeah.
I'm just a kid.
Bringing all these ghosts here.
Man, that reminds me of this scene in the movie Hereditary with this lady. She like the main character of the movie of Hereditary, she like loses a kid and she's like going through all this grief. So she meets up with another lady who also like lost a child, or I think it's like her grandson or something. And she's like, hey, I know how to do a seance to where you could see your kid again. And so she did a seance, but then like doing the seance, the child took over her body. She's like, Grandma, you? It was crazy, bro. Like the kid's voices coming out the old lady, like, where my kid? Where am I? I can't see anything. And the lady who was like went there to kind of like, okay, like maybe she could show me something, or maybe she might just be crazy, but maybe she could actually show me something to help me communicate with my child that's on the other side. But that was one of the freakiest scenes in the movie is that kid's voice coming out of that old lady, and he's like, Grandma, why are you like, I can't see, it's dark, I'm scared. Like,
damn.
Horrors, oof.
Yeah, dude. I think it's possible, man. Like, I seen some videos like a long time ago, before AI, where they had like this female, right? She was sitting on the bed, and they know like she got like possessed because she was like throwing up black stuff coming out of her mouth. And then her voice got all deep, and I was like, this is not no voice like a little girl can produce. And it looks real as shit because her eyes like were like all black, right? And then black stuff was coming out of her mouth. And then you could see like on the bed, the mom, it's like an Asian country, and the mom was like trying to rub her back, trying to get her back to normal. Meanwhile, her daughter's all freaking out, but then there's like another old man there. I was like, this doesn't look like an act. Like, because it looks like too much like stress, like especially from like the elders that was in the room. They look all stressed out. Like they were doing it for like days, you know, trying to save their daughter. They're all sweating and shit. It looks like they haven't taken a shower in like a week because I don't know what happened to their daughter. I don't know if she passed away or something.
It seems like a lot of those people that get caught up in possessions never make it. I mean, at least from the stories I heard, it seemed like they just wither away and die. Because I heard stories too where like family members would try to do exorcisms on possessed family members, and I think there was a story in England where a family got charged with like manslaughter for starving like some girl out because she was possessed. I heard this, yeah. It's like it's legendary possession story. But I think The Exorcist is actually based off of it, if I'm not mistaken, or some story.
Yeah, I think that's a big story. Whether like, nah, you starved her to death.
The Emily Rose story, I think it is. What the hell that shit is? That Exorcist movie.
Well, it might have been that one.
Yeah. But
right, so,
it started.
Yeah. What the hell is that noise? Okay, so back to the story real quick. So Amir, he eventually was arrested for arson because it said he started that fire. But the judge gave him a suspended sentence. It said a psychological report said it was all part of a mental health crisis, not a supernatural one. So I think he got like his sentence reduced, and I think he probably just served time like in the mental institute.
Damn.
Because I mean, it is his own house, and I don't think he caused any. He didn't kill nobody. It's just basically a crime against himself.
Yeah, just set his own shit on fire.
Yep, a fire at Britain home.
Well, that's good, I guess. I mean, at least nobody else got harmed in that mess. That would have been awful. Now I'll throw his ass in jail, but
yeah, who knows? Like, who knows what he was doing before? Maybe he did like some sacrifices, starting with animals first, and then it went from animal, it evolved into children.
Alright, it always ends up on kids.
Because the spiritual side, they like children for some reason. That's like their ultimate gift.
The vessel.
They're like, pure.
No
what
sin.
Do you call it? That stuff, that fear they get off of kids?
Adrenochrome. Adrenochrome. I kept thinking of someone with a C.
Yeah. To like scare the hell out of him and then snap that neck, drain the blood.
Yeah. That's how it was in what's that movie? Dr. Sleep. What's that movie called?
Dr. Sleep.
Dumb vampires in that movie? Oh man, like they weren't like the type of vampires that bite and rip your throat out and suck your blood. This is like they suck the life force out of kids. And there's a scene where like I think you've seen it before too, right? I think we talked about it.
I was like, this is Hollywood. Like this, they're talking about Hollywood right now.
Yeah, some wild shit. Yeah, about like just taking these kids and eating their souls. And that scene when they kill that one boy is awful. I was like, oh man, and not a drop of blood. It was just a good written horror scene.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this movie is telling you something without telling you, but it's saying something about probably what's going on, like in the elite levels, like what they're doing with children,
vampires,
scaring them, and you can see like the fear comes off of their body, like oh, and then they get high off of that shit, dude.
Because there's another story too that Stephen King did. It for example. he's another being in the Stephen King universe that feeds off of fear of children. So that's why he does the clown stuff, and that's why, like, as far as I could tell so far, that it has never outright just murdered a kid. It's always been, I mean, like, he's never immediately murdered like a child or anything. It's always been like a build up to it, and he always gets them scared. And I think it's because like they taste better or some kind of shit. It is like, but yeah, Stephen King be knowing what's up with all this.
Yeah, it's probably part of it too. Like, for all we know, like, because how would he know all that unless he's actually dabbling it, you know? Because, you know, they said the word on the streets, like, you can't do something that's wrong unless you speak about it. Like, something like illegal. Like, you must say you're doing it, whether it be, like, through a movie or telling it through a book. Like, you have to tell the public, and then you can do it. It's like a rule or a law.
You can't do it. It's like, once it comes out to the general public, then it can.
Right, then you can do it. It's like cigarettes, right? Cigarette kills and stuff. They're like, okay, we'll put the big ass label on the back, say it causes cancer, blah blah blah.
Right.
Like, it told you it can kill you. Now you got the free will to still take it if you want.
Right. I saw something the other day that was like, cigarettes cause cancer and alcohol cause birth defects. I was like, damn. It was like, ooh, big ass sign. I was like,
12-pack, please.
Excuse me. You're in my way, sir.
Yeah. So they tell you, like, yeah, this stuff can kill you. Like, you still want to take it? Yeah, sure.
It's like, why not?
Yeah.
It's wild, man. But I forgot I was about to go with that too, because I saw something about possession. I'll come back to me in a second.
You got any other comments about this story about the demonic possession?
All right, so like my take on like a supernatural stuff, honestly, because I'm not like spiritual or anything. Like, I think I'm becoming more spiritual the older I get, but never religious, if that makes sense. But as I've gotten older, I've been like, you know what? Don't nobody know if anything's true or not at the end of the day. And if we can't, I've always seen like supernatural events like this. If it can't be explained as supernatural, the soon as it becomes a science, the soon as they'll be able to explain it, then it becomes science. So until then, it's in the realm of supernatural. So I don't even exclude any supernatural shit out the way like that. Because, I mean, look, strange stuff have happened in this world that cannot be explained, like bleeding walls in a house or anything. And you can't tell me that is not normal or there's no science that can really explain it, especially with the blood types or the blood that was coming out of the bleeding walls of that one house. So supernatural stuff really do be popping up that, I mean, sometimes, look, not everything in life has a final ending or you know everything that's going to end. Some things are always going to be a mystery, and I don't know. That's why I never really discredit like any type of real crazy supernatural stuff. Now, as I've gotten older, I'm like, shit, nobody know, and we don't know.
Yeah, it comes down to like your own experience with it, you know, and then that's like your own truth, whether anybody believes it or not. And you know, the wild thing is, globally, the whole world has seen something weird, you know? It's not just like
point or another.
In America, whether in Japan or whatever. This is global. Everybody has seen something weird. And us humans, you know, when something is out of the ordinary, you get scared because you're like, what the hell just happened? Like, why did that door just open up? Or blah, blah, blah. I saw something going behind the curtains. I don't know what it is. I saw it. I don't understand what it is. You know, all you can do is just tell your story to people and to the world, and like, and then people could believe it or not, or even if you catch it on camera, like nowadays you're battling with AI because as soon as you post something, whether it's like it's super real, right? You know, the internet is always gonna have a voice saying it's fake, it's Photoshop, AI, or whatever, and that's just the world we live in now.
Yeah, the internet was doing that before this AI trend came up. People was calling shit fake before then.
Yeah, it was all Photoshop.
Photoshop, that was the big one. Photoshop.
Yeah. I was like, this is a video, it's not a photo. It's like, yeah, you know what we mean. It's been a CGI or whatever.
I was like, damn, I feel like there was more people that said the word Photoshop than ever used Photoshop. So
yeah, I remember like the picture I got of Ruby, where Ruby took a picture, the selfie of the ghost, right?
Man,
I remember I posted it, and Mike was like, that's Photoshop. I was like,
immediately.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? I was like, this is a real picture. Like, it's not like a person you don't know on the internet.
Right, you know me.
I was like, okay. I was like, oh, whatever. Like, this is how it is. That's how people are.
Got the whole world thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got for demonic possession. Yeah.
Possession.
All right, you got a story for us, big dog?
I do, man. We're gonna talk about what my shit at. We're gonna talk about 23andMe. Did you hear about this?
Kind of.
23andMe just filed for bankruptcy, and nobody knows what the hell is gonna happen with all this precious DNA.
I thought it got bought out by like a government company.
Oh, something. Yeah, they're trying to switch to like a drug type of company now. Yeah, so it makes you, but this whole 23andMe thing, which I never did it like 23andMe at all, or none of the ancestry.com type of stuff at all. It wasn't so much of me of a thing not trusting it. For me, it was more of a thing. It was kind of like, well, I knew a lot about my family history, like as far as like what paperwork my family has on, like my family has paperwork on my family in America and our history here and all this other stuff since 1745. Damn. So it's like I never really, right? Shit. And I got some at this house right here that's like I got shit from 1745 on even who owned my family back in 1745.
The Jones's family.
Right, we go back to the state of Virginia. That's where we started at, and so like I never felt the need to want to use the DNA thing when I already kind of had an idea of where my family came from. But I understood that as a human being, all humans want to know at some point, where do they come from? Everybody, it's in us, and I feel like 23andMe at first. I mean, even though I was kind of like sketch at times, it opened the door for a lot of people to really discover where they come from. If they was like 10% black or 15% Irish or some shit. Like, everybody wants to know, man. And it kind of gave this question of like, if you like were to spit it in a tube and you like mailed it off and found out you were 23% Irish, but now the company that held your genetic code is collapsing under lawsuits, debt, and data hacks, what happens to your DNA when that corporation dies? And that's the big question a lot of people are wondering right now. Everybody that gave their DNA up to 23andMe at some point, I know plenty of people that have actually given their DNA to 23andMe
and had like clones walking around everywhere,
right? And then they got
version, yep.
And so it and you know I've seen people with apps like after they like send off their DNA, they got apps to track all this other stuff, which I thought that was pretty cool. I have some people showing me how it works, but because of this now, especially after they had the data breach, but I'll get into all that in a second. So for anybody who cares about 23andMe, that's going to be listening to this eventually. 23andMe is a direct consumer genetic testing company founded in 2006. People send in a saliva sample and get info on their ancestry, traits, and risk of certain diseases, which I think that is pretty dope. It gives you an idea of how to get in front of it. But over 14 million people have submitted their DNA since 23andMe came out in 2006. That's a whole lot of damn DNA. And so right now people are asking, like, what's at stake if they go bankrupt? Actually, that they have gone bankrupt. And one of the big questions is, like, if 23andMe would have filed for bankruptcy, their most valuable assets isn't equipment, but it's your DNA. And that data is personally identifiable, potentially predictive of health outcomes, interlinked with relatives' data, and commercially valuable to pharmaceutical and research companies. And you better know, in America, them pharmaceutical companies are going to get ahead of that if they can, to get all that precious knowledge of what makes you you and what can make you sick.
Right, exactly.
Because a pharmaceutical company does not give a damn. And now,
they know what can make you sick, they can know what to treat you with.
Yes,
or like give you like the best Band-Aid so they can keep you sick.
Yes, man. Yes. And also too, like, imagine like all of that is like up for sale for the highest bidder, because that's what it's looking like right now. Because what happened from the legal side of the whole bankruptcy thing for 23andMe is a judge and a legal team determines what assets can be sold or liquidated. Your DNA could be viewed as part of that pool, and even though, like it says, they may attempt to sell the customer or as access, which could include the genetic database, to another biotech or data company. And they're saying, like, it's not hypothetical because the Gawker's entire archive and emails were sold in bankruptcy. So when MySpace went through like multiple sales and tech bankruptcies, user data is always hot for legal debate. So like when companies get sold out, like they said, like MySpace, 23andMe, or WAMP collapsing, that data just goes out there, and then all this shit of like your when you sign up for users agreements and stuff, becomes null and void. And it's kind of like, oh shit, well, I didn't agree for my DNA to be pushed out there. Well, also the company didn't expect to collapse either. And by the court of law, now your shit is kind of like up for grabs in this damn DNA market, which is probably about to bust out here. Now, like DNA is about to be the new black market thing. I think now this is
definitely. And I think that because they did got data breach before, a lot of that data got leaked onto the dark web. So
it did, man. What was that 2019? I think they had that data breach.
Yeah.
It was.
And guess who probably bought that shit? It's not like people like me and you, because we got no use for it. I think these are like people like you were saying, like pharmaceutical companies or the government itself. It's like, all right, like this is gold right here.
Yes,
like
man.
People like, they willingly like gave up like their DNA to be processed in like a damn a DNA company. Like you literally gave up your juices, dude. Because you know about that cloning company that recently cloned a dire wolf?
Oh hell no! I was about to say I did. No.
It's like the biggest news like a few months ago.
Oh no!
They completely brought the dire wolf back, and they got pictures of it, like when it was a puppy, and then like when it's like a middle-sized adult. It looks like the wolf from Game of Thrones, dude.
Oh shit! The size of a damn like Buick.
Yeah, the size of a damn Cadillac or whatever. I'm like, because that company been around for a while, but they did create like a whole dire wolf. And if they're able to do that with DNA from a long time ago, what could they do with your DNA that's fresh, clean, fresh DNA?
Remember we talked about the woolly hamster?
Oh, hamster.
Yeah, so like we talked about like some episodes ago, like probably 3 episodes ago, but it was like a short story. But like what scientists are doing is like they're taking woolly mammoth DNA and they're injecting it into like hamsters, and these hamsters are like, bro, they got like mullets. Crazy.
Damn, that's cool, man. I want one.
Yeah, you ever get a chance to look up like woolly mammoth mouse or something like that? But they got like they've given these mice like and hamsters mullets, like looking like Super Saiyan 3, bro. Like I'm talking about.
Damn, that's cool, man.
So they call them like right now they call them like woolly mammoth mouse or something. And some scientists are saying like, hey man, like y'all trying to play God now instead of like trying to study, because y'all said y'all trying to study. It's because some scientists saying like it's one thing to study DNA of the woolly mammoth. It's another to inject it and create a whole new species out of it. Because they say like this could throw shit off sometime down the road. Where what if these little tiny hamsters go to like the size of a fucking elephant?
I mean, people, they can't even get mad no more, man, because they've been doing this shit forever, especially like with the wolf species. How many different type of dogs that they created through like genetics, like manipulation?
Man, so much so that I remember Atlanta. I remember back when I was still living in Atlanta, I was watching the news. They had to make it illegal for dog breeding in Atlanta because too many dogs were coming out deformed or with issues or sicknesses, and it was all just regular folks, not even people trained in the art of raising and breeding a dog. It was people just trying to make money and having dogs sleeping with each other that were like siblings, and then selling these puppies out there. And it's like, hey, you know what? And people getting mad because I just bought this dog for $1,500 and it just died on me 6 months later because it's all genetic defects. So Atlanta had to crack down on that shit one time, real hard.
But when it comes to create like new genes type of dogs, like for example, when they created the French dog, is it Frenchie?
French poodle, whatever.
No, they're like big, like kind of like a bulldog looking, a French. I don't know, but
British bulldog.
Yeah, one of them where their skull, the way it's designed, like they can't even breathe properly. Like their head is not like they breed that breed, and then it got really popular. People liked it, but they keep breeding it. But I was like, you guys bred like the most deformed dog.
Yeah, the same thing with like pugs. They be like,
yeah, they can't breathe. It's like they're born with like a medical condition. I was like, and then people are still buying it. If you're gonna keep buying a dog, they're gonna keep breeding them.
I see the pugs as like this may be problematic, but I see like pugs as like the Down syndrome of the dogs in a lot of ways. That gets down. But you know what I'm saying? It's like they got like you can tell it's like, it is a defect of some sort, and people just like, oh, they cute. I'm like, they are, but would they be cute in human form? Like,
no,
like, not healthy.
Yeah, I've been around one before, and I was like, damn, you just fucked up. Your whole nostrils, like you can't even breathe. I could hear it breathing, like struggling to breathe.
Struggling.
I was like, I can't even imagine what it's like to just be in your body for a little bit. I bet it sucks, dude.
Yeah,
Damn.
I imagine. But they're
Poor
probably happy.
dogs.
As long as they're happy, they probably don't even think that far ahead. They're like, I just want to eat and shit and occasionally have sex and I'll
Yeah.
be happy.
Well, they probably don't even know like something's wrong with them, especially because they're born that way.
I was just, I am. What?
Yeah, it's just like a poor person that's born like in like a poor country, right? All they know is their surroundings. They don't know like what's outside. So
Yeah,
like to
that-
them, they're probably living like a good life, you know? But we don't know that. I mean, because I mean, we're not seeing it from their point of view because we're seeing it from our point of view.
right.
And then when
Yeah.
you move them out, right, and then they get into a place where I was like, oh shit, I didn't know the world was like this. And then they look back at their life like, damn, I was happy like with literally nothing.
Right. I
You
know
know?
when my dad grew up like in a poor family with him and all his sisters and all that. Cause my dad had like all these siblings, and my dad didn't realize till he got in the military and he traveled the world and became a husband and a father that he looked back and was like, oh man, we grew up poor, but to us it was just life. We never saw it as being poor. That was just
Yeah.
how everything just was back then. And then like when you're a kid, you don't think about being poor like that.
You
You're
don't
just like,
think,
hey, this is how it
yeah,
is.
not even a little bit.
Until you get older, you be like, oh shit, like I was poor. I didn't really
Yeah,
have much.
you look
Didn't have
back,
much, but
yeah.
yeah.
You'd be like, damn, like, because if
Man,
you ever
shit.
will visit like the old neighborhoods that you grew up in, you'd be like, what? That shit look rough, dude.
Man,
Yeah,
like
that's why like it makes you like appreciate shit more, especially like people that don't have nothing. Like yeah, like you don't really have to have nothing, but you can still have happiness. You know,
Yeah, man.
because the people with all the money in the world, right? They could feel like the most loneliest people in the world, even when they're surrounded by everybody.
real shit.
Yeah, that's why you see like a lot of people, celebrities or people who are rich and famous, they end up just killing themselves. It's like, and then we look at like, damn, they had all this money. Why would they kill themselves? Aren't they happy?
Do it.
Yeah,
It's like
that's when you know like it's beyond money. Like money cannot fix everything, dude. It can
Right,
help
especially
make things
too-
nice, but it can't fix everything.
I would imagine too if you come from that lifestyle where you got the money and all that. Like, who can you really trust? Like, who's really actually being there for your friend and being there for your trying like a come up or just around for you for social status, you know, whatever. So I'm pretty sure
Exactly.
like if you can't trust anybody, it can become a very lonely world. And
Yeah,
in all honesty,
you'll never have a normal life again, especially if you're like a celebrity that basically the whole world knows. They know all your drama, they know all your problems, they know what you've been doing. You would never lead like a normal life. Like that normal life window is already out the picture. It doesn't even matter anymore. Like anybody that comes in your life now is gonna be someone you're thinking, oh, they just want me for your status, you know. So it's gonna be hard as hell for you to connect with somebody on like a real level, because either they think like you're better than them, or you know, or it's the other way around. But it's hard to find that real person, especially because I'm thinking about Kanye. When I'm saying all this, like his image is like is freaking crazy, dude. Like he can never have a normal life no more.
he is
It's like
lost
impossible.
He has lost his fucking mind.
Yeah, it's like
He is far gone.
yeah, it's like dude, since the world hate me so bad, I'm gonna just be like the worst bad guy. And I was like, you could be any character you want, because you do the world. They all know you. They know you do all this crazy shit. It's like you cannot live a normal life. It's impossible.
At all, man. It's got to a point. It's like people like, for me, man. I used to be OG like Kanye West fan, and then look back on it now. I'm like, man, he's been doing all this crazy shit so much. It makes you forget that he's damn a fucking musician at this point. And sometimes, and then looking back at this whole timeline too, since he came out, like at least to relevancy to the general public, like 2003. Now here it is, 22 years later. I'm like, oh man. And this entire time that you've been around, you've been doing bullshit. It seems like, or just going down this insane rabbit hole more than you have ever done your music career to me. So it's wild, man. He will never have a normal existence ever again. He's beyond that.
It's impossible. Yeah, that's why I'm like, damn, like, how's he hold? Like to me, it's like, how's he holding that shit together? Like, how's he?
He ain't.
How are you like? Are you watching TV normally? Are you taking a shit? Or yeah, I was like, are you okay, man? This is crazy.
He be in his head too much. I think he gotta get out his head. That's the
Too
problem.
much, man. And then the internet put that shit on a microscope. Cause got millions of people what their opinions are, and I was like, and these people never met you not one time in their life, but they have like
Oh,
a whole thing like they could say you could do better. I was like, but you never even met that person. That's the wild part too. Because everybody has their own story, even the stuff that's not on like what you see on display. Because like we're all normal people. Like when this screen shut off, like we will go back to our life that the world doesn't know about.
nope.
And then like half of us is like a serial killer. Nobody knows that.
No, nobody know. Not that I am.
Ain't nobody know like that's Chris Unholy's hobby. We don't know. We don't ask questions. We just know he's on a podcast.
He likes crazy shit.
Meanwhile, Wolverine slicing up people.
Ting ting.
Ting ting.
Let me get back to this 23
Oh
minute
yeah,
shit.
we're way off.
We way the hell off. That was okay, so what I was saying before was that okay, so with the whole bankruptcy thing, saying that basically like with this whole 23andMe bankruptcy is that your DNA and data on your DNA is going to be out there in the wind, and information is incredibly powerful, and a lot of these tech companies and a lot of these companies and organizations, the name of the game, like this is like the new gold rush, is data. Everybody's trying to get information on how we all move and think so they can get ahead of it and know how to market shit, try to do everything, man. It's crazy. They're trying to predict our movements and they're getting good at it. But it says that 23andMe's privacy policy may say we won't sell your data, but in bankruptcy court, contracts and policies can be renegotiated or overwritten to satisfy debts. So, and that sounds like 23andMe got a bunch of debt, a fuck ton of debt they got to deal with. And also, too, this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, well, as far as data breaches,
the lawnmower man, is it too loud?
no,
Yeah,
no,
I can't hear it because he's like right next to the window. Super loud.
no, see, I can't hear it on my end.
Okay. All right, keep
Damn,
going.
Okay, my bad. So then, oh yeah, cause so what I was saying before is that, like there's been like real world echoes of this type of stuff going down where data gets out there in the open and it's caused a issue. One example was back in 2018. The family tree DNA gave FBI access to its database without consent of anybody that gave up their DNA to this company. Which makes it sound like Family Tree DNA was already working for the FBI before this. It sounds like an FBI program that was used to harvest DNA. That's what it sounds like to me.
It probably is. I was suspicious of that DNA company a long time ago, dude.
The Family Tree, I never even heard of it until I was looking up stuff about this. I never knew this happened. I was like, what? This sounds like some kind of like fake ass propped up DNA company.
Yeah. Me, I always have to think like beyond like what's they're even telling us. I gotta think crazy, I was like, okay, and this is my head back then. I'm like, a DNA company, like, what are they up to? Like, it's not as simple as like, finding out where you came from, your bloodline. You know what I was thinking?
What's that?
They were looking for lost descendants of Atlantis because their blood is special and they can operate certain type of machinery, like from that Disney Atlantis movie. I was like, that's how my head works. I'm like, what else could they be using the DNA for? Or are they looking for like specific type of people? Like,
yeah, like who y'all really looking for? Because this is kind of. Do y'all really care about where everybody else comes from? I'm sure y'all don't. So
yeah, because you know how they say like the Rh negative bloodline. They said that's like a bloodline where they're like, it's so weird that they said it could be like an alien type blood because it doesn't make sense. But then they're saying that the theory is like, people who have Rh negative blood, they're from like an alien bloodline. And I'm like, okay, so the company 23andMe, if they're looking for like these special people, like what better way to do it than to get people to like willingly give up their DNA and their location and everything. Like, all right, we found one located off Gables off Shire Street. Like we got one right here.
God, I'm eating Chick-fil-A.
Take him out, and then he die in a freak accident or whatever.
car blow up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he died off of, I don't know, brain aneurysm.
That's
Weird.
scary. That's
Yeah.
scary. That's actually scary. Brain aneurysm is such a scary thing to me.
Sounds painful.
Gee,
I think I had it one
it's
time.
oh my
It
god. I
hurts
knew
in my head.
I used to work with a girl who had a brain aneurysm in her sleep and died.
Shit.
Fucking crazy, man.
She about to
And I
get
was like, I just
targeted.
saw her yesterday. She was smiling and everything was cool. But then again, I was like, I don't know her health history, so maybe she was getting headaches like leading up to that moment. I don't know, but man, that horrified me when I heard that.
That is scary.
Right?
Do you think that's the best way to go out, like in your sleep?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's better than dying in the streets. I'll put it like that. That's
But I really get shot nine
yeah,
times in the chest.
right. Like fucking get shot like 50. Then I mean, like it's pissed. I feel like I think it'd probably be the best way to go considering how other people get killed in this world. They get blown up and shit. So
Yeah, I think
I would
probably
rather
the worst way is like torture.
man, yeah. I used to have a fear when I was in Iraq of getting blown up and then no one would ever find my body. But just being like,
Damn.
oh well, we're going to have a coffin at Chris's funeral, but it's an empty coffin. Couldn't
Nothing
find
but
them. That happens a lot, man.
nothing sand.
It's like, because they've done that before with like the military's done that before where they brought back bodies from overseas and lied to family members, be like, yeah, we have them in the
No.
coffin, and man, there was a huge issue of this back in like sometime in the 2010s where some soldiers were killed overseas and they brought them back and our families were like, I want to see their bodies, and come to find out they didn't even have the bodies. They was lying to them the whole time. It was like, we don't know what happened to them. I was like, bro, why don't you just tell the family that? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, just be like, we're not able to get the body.
Like his body's
That's like the
dismembered.
worst, man.
Bro,
It has to be.
it's awful.
Because, like, I saw this one video on Instagram today where, they said, like, there's this guy who works at a cemetery, right? His video blew up because he said that the bodies that's meant to be, like, in the graves, how they bury in the coffins, right? He said there's no bodies in the coffins. He said this whole cemetery is empty. There's no real bodies in the cemeteries. And he worked there, too. And he's, like, a redneck guy he's just making video telling people. And then he said, like, people started following him and they told him get out of town and everything, like, don't make videos no more. Well, like, fast forward to I saw a video today, right, where it was like two guys, right? They said they had to move these. Damn, that shit is loud as fuck.
I just heard it too.
Yeah, it's super loud. He had to move like these barrels, like blue barrels, like it looks like the barrel on Breaking Bad where they put bodies in and then put acid. Yeah, it looks like a bunch of those barrels. And then the guy, he said he opened one barrel up, right, and it was wrapped like in like plastic. And then the people said, "Hey, don't open that up because there's a dead body in there and it smells." Like little did he know, like all those barrels had bodies in it. They said the hospital like shipped it out to them, and then they're supposed to take the barrel to a location, and then they were gonna burn all the barrels.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was like he looks it's like a regular worker, like he's probably like doing contract work, and he was like, I feel like the mafia right now. I'm moving all these dead bodies in barrels.
That's crazy.
But he did make the comment. He was saying like maybe that guy talking about the cemetery being the cemetery being empty is probably true.
Right, like there's no bodies in the ground.
Because he was like, I am moving these bodies. Like, were these supposed to be buried somewhere, or who knows?
Man, scary world.
That's why I said, man, I say get rid of cemeteries.
Could clear up a lot of land.
Yeah,
Cremation.
dude, the land is made for the living,
time,
not the dead.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I guess it all depends on how families want to be. Because some people don't want to be cremated.
Or like memorials, yeah.
Like I want to be in the ground with my full body. Cause I know some people that got buried with each other. So
yeah, dude, if everybody got buried, there's not enough land. Like, 'cause if you think about, because like the whole cemetery theory, they're saying like, why doesn't the cemetery get any bigger? Like, people are dying every day. Like, the cemetery is not expanding.
Nah, but they starting to do like mortuaries and stuff. Cause I think a lot of people are starting to opt out to do cremation more because it's way cheaper. Like my dad got cremated, so it's like I realized this too with all my mom went through to set up for my dad's funeral, and oh my god, it's so much shit and it's so expensive to die. And it's like, damn, I see why people do cremation. It is, and then also too, you can like have them at the house with you and all this other stuff too when they cremate it. So it's
Creepy.
I don't know. I feel like that's the new wave is cremation. Like almost every funeral I've gone to has been almost cremation at this point.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes more sense.
You gotta pay for like when you bury somebody in the ground, you gotta pay for that land. That shit is not free. So
I would imagine, right? You're paying for real estate. You gotta
yeah,
pay for
straight
rent.
up.
Like the body's like just taking up space for what? Yeah, it's
I
better
guess
to have like,
to feed the earth. I don't know where it goes.
yeah, in other countries they have like memorial shrines where they just have like these buildings and they have their name on plaques and stuff, and then family just go visit like those little shrines. But there's not no
Yeah, that's
actual body in there.
right. That's like with the over in was it Ireland or Sweden? What are them that Norwegian region or whatever it is? They had like them little egg pods was like
Suicide pods?
self-deleting the self-deleting pods where if you clock out early, we'll do it for you, and then we're gonna turn your body into compost and add you to the earth, and then
And you
feed
become
it
a tree
and,
in like a few years.
hey, you live again.
You see that tree? That's Big Dog. Now
That's
he's
Jeremy.
Big Tree.
The big tree is like right, so he was like this big at first.
Now he Orange Tree.
That used to be Derek.
Look at him
Derek's
now.
still-
Speaking of trees, you ever seen these videos on Instagram where people are talking to trees, right? Like they're talking to the branches outside, and they're like, "Hey, I know you can hear me. I want you to touch my face. Give me a kiss." And then the branches come down, tap him on the face.
No,
And
it
then
just comes out like.
you right touch his face, right? And then I was like, that's crazy. And then like another Instagram, and they saw, they're like, let me try this. So she goes outside the house. She's like, hello, beautiful tree. Like, can you take your branches down and touch my face? Trees came down, touch her face, and she freaks out like, oh my god. Another video. There's like a bunch of video of these trees touching people's faces. So I was
Have you
like,
tried it yet?
No, I haven't tried it yet, but I will soon though.
I don't have any trees out here, so I gotta wait to get back to Georgia.
But I do remember, like a long time ago, I probably told you this story, like when I was cutting like the grass one day, right? And I remember like the tree in the backyard, it always sinks so low to where I was like, I gotta like, tilt my head to go under it to cut it, right?
Right.
So I was like, one day I was like, hey tree, could you like lift your branches? Like this is before I even left the house to get the lawnmower. I was like, just pick up the branches so I can go under it easy. Dude, when I went to the backyard, the tree branches were so high, dude. And I don't know if that's a coincidence or the tree was just up there, like at that time. It wasn't heavy. But I remember going through, cutting the grass, and I was like, didn't have to bend my neck over.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, did it hear my thoughts? Or like, because I said it in my head.
It's like, let me help Billy out right quick because he's cutting my hair, so
He's like, I'm in his way, and
come on.
yeah, I'm always in his face, when he's trying to do something.
Let me help him out.
Yeah, but then I noticed that. Then I look at the tree. I was like, "You heard me, huh?" And the tree's probably like blushing a little bit. Oh, he caught me.
Ooh.
Yeah, they like that shit, dude. I've been looking at the trees at work too. I was like, I see you guys. You guys look nice today. I was like, do you guys get annoyed of the train sounds? And then I had to stop myself. I was like, man, you're having a whole conversation in your head with trees.
They be like, nah, we like the train sounds don't bother us. It's the vibrations. We ain't got ears, but we can feel it.
It's like, y'all low vibrating people, man.
Feel that shit in my roots.
Don't jump on the tracks.
Please don't. All right. So back to this. The
Yeah, we way off.
again, and then so what I was saying before, there's been real world echoes of this stuff of like DNA being leaked out to the public and breaking the public's trust. So like I was saying before, Family Tree DNA gave FBI access to its database without consent, which I think that might have been like some kind of like shell DNA company, just for FBI to harvest that information. And then in 2019, the Golden State Killer was caught using GED match DNA search techniques.
I remember this.
Yeah, they wound up catching his ass with
He was a
some
cop,
DNA.
right?
He was a cop, yes, and they grabbed because I think Golden State Killer was up in Golden State, California, and he was running around for like over a decade, I think 20 years, murdering people, and then they had to use DNA. They actually wound up using the GED or GED match, I guess I think it's called DNA, to actually like go back all them years for all them crimes he committed, and they got his ass. A cop too, bruh. A cop.
Yeah, a damn cop, man. Like that shit went right under the rug, and let's say like he was probably one of the cops that was working on, that
damn case itself.
Yeah, like, and all that shit, everything dodged him. Come on.
I think he was a family man too. Had kids.
Technology caught up, and then they all got caught, dude.
Yeah, because even though I understand, like, and it's cool too, like. I never had like the most trusting like relationship with a type of 23andMe or Ancestry.com thing, but I do like how DNA does close up a lot. It can help close a lot of cases for like cold case files where people were murdered and then they never found out who did it, and then they're able to go back like, oh, this is David down the street.
Or like a lot of people that's been falsely accused, Yeah,
we found David's pubic hair. Yo, people, especially people falsely accused, man. Shit. That's when it really comes in clutch. So yeah, so if all it's faults and purposes, it all depends on how it's used. And to me, because I do like the concept of DNA and it being used to study and to track stuff down, and also learn about history. But yeah, when it happens in something like this, like as far as this level, horrifying that they got all this DNA.
Does the government have a hold of all that data? The DNA?
So right now with the DNA. Okay. So right now the 23andMe company is trying to like pivot in a whole another direction because they broke a shit. Like their stocks dropped like 95% in such a it's insane. I was reading about it, I was like, what? It's like I thought this thing was popping, but it dipped, man. It fell into debt. They owed too much money, and so like I'm saying now that they're trying to pivot to like more of a drug discovery business. So 23andMe has tried to pivot from consumers testing their drug development, partnering with companies like GSK, which is GlaxoSmithKline. This actually involves using their massive genetic database to help develop precision medicine, which is valuable but extremely slow and expensive. But it hasn't paid off yet because the investors are growing impatient with this new thing. Because there's investors who already put money into this new company that 23andMe is shifting, and they kind of like, you're not producing anything yet, 23andMe. So this shit ain't looking good for them either.
You think it was all set up from the beginning?
And that's what I'm kind of wondering, because this shit crashed so fast. I'm like, what if it's one of the things that just sat around for years? Like, hey, we're going to sit around, was it 2019? So 6 years we're going to sit around, collect DNA, and then...
Right. And it is a private company, right?
Yes. Basically, at this point, ain't nobody with 23andMe.
See, here's the thing with that. Like, I don't think, like, the government can actually do something, like a program to where they can actually collect DNA, right? So, let's say this private company was a company funded by them, but it wasn't under, like, the government, and they needed this program to run its courses and collect as much data as possible. And then the end goal was to get the company to bankrupt. So what other person's going to buy all this data that can afford the data? The government's going to buy all that data. Like, all right. But then after they get all that data, they don't have to tell us what they're going to do with that data, right? Because it's under, like, the government, all that shit that they bought from a DNA company. So let's say it was their way of collecting DNA without getting their hands dirty.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, it didn't work out. Sorry, guys. And there's gonna be people, and then like I was saying before too, that there's gonna be people that are asking like, hey, what's gonna happen to my DNA? Like, what are you gonna do with my information? They're gonna be like, oh, well,
government, sorry.
Yeah, right. And they're gonna be like, what are you gonna tell these people? Because they can't. It's like, well, it's kind of like up in the wind. We don't know. Sorry about the user agreement that we had, but yeah, we kind of
not confidential. No more. Like somebody else has it.
Exactly. It was all because when you think about how they're going back on the user agreement like this, it makes you wonder, like, this is definitely was the plan the whole time? Just like, hey, what company, give us our information, like kind of like using people's curiosity. It sounds like to get them to go along with them, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna run this program for 6 years and shut this shit down before it gets too messy and before people start peeking too closely into what we're really doing. And They sound like this company is just a ghost in the wind now. In the next couple of years, it's going to be this. Oh, what happened to 23andMe? Because you don't even hear people talk about 23andMe anymore. That shit used to be commercials, ads, everything, and now they just
Yeah, there's another company that does it too. I forgot the name.
what the whole DNA thing.
Yeah, it's like a few DNA companies.
Man, man, man. 100% all our shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure the government got my DNA. I was in the military, so they definitely got me on lock. But I ain't giving to no damn company. That's a whole nother type of thing. I was always kind of worried.
Give it to the source.
Someone give it to the man.
Take it.
Yeah, they got my. They got my blood type and everything, man. So basically, to wrap up this whole 23andMe, man, it's basically like, in a world where data is like basically like the new, I'm telling you, this is like the new gold rush, the new oil that they're trying to get. Because I'm learning all these big corporations, they're just trying to get information at this point. They ain't got to steal human bodies anymore, especially if you're just willing to give up your DNA. They ain't got to do none of this shit. In fact, they can just clone you and then take the kidney. So this is going to cut out the middleman. It's going to cut out the kidnapping, and then everybody just give up their DNA. Or, as I've been thinking, what they're trying to do, because what's been going on right now is that in America, they're trying to bring back a lot of factories in America again, right? Because America's hitting this fucking wall on the economic level. And so they're about to bring back a lot of these damn factories, right? But rumor has it that these factory jobs that they're bringing back are going to be super duper underpaid. And they're doing it on purpose. And I think, what if some kind of crazy way that, hey, we got DNA for people, so if these people don't want to work these low ass jobs, well, we're gonna just clone people in the near future and then have these motherfuckers just work this shit.
Yeah, at least that's my. They did it back then. They can still do it now.
Hey man, run it.
It's like how many people we need to mine gold.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy too. It's like your DNA, and basically at this point, our DNA is going to be like the new gold for what they're trying to do going forward. At least that's what I think. I think this is a huge breach. If I've this is a huge. I think it's like it shows like this company like never was transparent with the folks that was giving their DNA to them in the first place. So kind of like the people that was kind of like, you know, suspicious of 23andMe to begin with. To me, this only makes like this confirmed everyone's suspicion about 23andMe in the beginning. And it's one of them things is like, yeah, but they got your DNA and they're never gonna give it back. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna even fight this at court? Hey, yawning, like I want to get my spit sample back. They got it. It's gone, man. It's all computer data now. That shit out there in the wind. Fuck, man. Whatever, man. I swear, we live in a dystopian future. This feels like Cyberpunk 2077. I swear. It's like some weird shit.
They got us, man. Or just like altered carbon.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Shit stacks.
Yeah, we're just walking data, dude.
All it is, man, trying to get as much information as possible from us. Because they all know everybody got clock out, but like, yeah, well, how about we get that DNA before you leave?
So we can bring you back to life.
All right, make you a slave.
I gotta take a leak real quick. We'll come back. Are you done with that story?
That's it.
All right, we'll come back. We'll do another story. Be right back. All right, so Pennsylvania politician proposes a repeal of a state ban on fortune telling. So, I think you're on mute.
I am. I said, what?
Yeah, so a politician in Pennsylvania, they wanted to repeal a 160-year-old ban on fortune telling. I didn't even know this was even like a thing. Like you can ban fortune telling in a whole state.
Yeah, that sounds like a stupid ass law. About damn fortune telling?
Yeah, I was like, you guys are wasting your time, right? Like that's what I would think. I was like, banning fortune telling. So you believe it or something? Like, is it real?
Right. You only ban it if you believed it, and if it's true and it's real, why ban it? It ain't hurt nobody.
It might have been real because they said like they banned it since the 1860s. I was like, damn. But I think it do kind of make sense because like if people are doing like tarot reading, right, and it's let's say it's like it's not even accurate or nothing, like it's just you're just telling people cards, like you're basically making money off of nothing.
That's true, yeah.
But if you think about nowadays, people make money off of podcasts and all they're doing is just talking, right? Same shit.
And people want to get talked to. I think it's like a transaction, like whether it's a scam or not. Because if that's the case, you might as well ban churches too. If you're gonna go down that route, I'm
There you
just
go.
saying, if
There
you're
you
gonna go
go.
down this route and try to ban this stuff, because a lot of people believe in this shit, man. They want to put their money in it. Man, look, let them go. And if it's a hustle, it's a hustle. And if you don't really want to put your money in it, then don't. I don't see why that's.
Yeah.
It's a waste of the law.
Yeah, when money get involved, it gets messy.
It does. People probably get shot and murdered over it. So I mean, I
Right.
get
They're
it.
like,
Yeah.
oh, that tarot reading gave me. You said I shouldn't do this and I didn't do it, but then this happened. You fucking played me. And then the tarot
You
reader's like,
told,
damn, I was just telling you what the cards told me. I was like, I'm not actually predicting nothing.
so you told me to invest in Groupon, and now it's collapsing as a company,
23 and me now it's collapsing.
right?
Or like palm readers. Like, have you ever been to a palm reader where all they do is look at your palm and like, all right, I can see everything. I could see, basically your whole
Mhm.
personality on your palm.
I have. I have.
I never did none of that. Like, how was it?
That's cool. It was mysterious and all that. This lady read my hand. She's like, "Oh, this is a long ass time ago. I think I was like, I don't know, maybe I just got out of high school, whatever, or maybe senior in high school, somewhere around that time. But I got my palm read, and it was like, oh, so this is how your life is gonna be. You'll be married, and then you're gonna marry a girl with like the first letter of her name starting with an M, and then I'm marrying
I
like
remember this a
Melissa.
long time ago.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell? Like, okay. Now I'm looking back at it like,
She might be on
maybe,
something.
or maybe that was a lucky ass guess. I know a lot of women in my life with M's in their name. Like my mom, her name is Margaret. So there's plenty of women in my life
Yeah,
with M's.
M
So it's
is kind
like,
of common.
it's very common. So
Yeah, what are the odds of that though, right?
that's pretty good though.
Hmm.
Pretty good. I see. I ain't
Yeah.
forget about you, lady.
Yeah. Palm reading or astrology, like, or even people that sell like love potions. You ever heard of anybody selling love potions or lucky charms? Like, hey, you want to buy a love potion? Like, there's like websites where you can do like love spells and you can send them money, right? And then they'll send you like a love spell.
I
Like
heard about that. Yeah.
they did this on like the Bad Friends podcast with Bobby Lee. And Bobby Lee was like, "Hey, buy two for me." And they bought two for him, and whatever they send you a love spell.
Yeah, I did hear about that, but I've never seen like. So what does it come in like in a package, like a little box and like a kit?
I don't even know. Like they probably like send you, I don't know, something that's written down on paper.
All right, I gotta lay this out on this blanket.
Yeah, I was like anybody can start a company out of nothing, air.
Man, it's like drink this potion, and the potion's like Gatorade or some shit.
Yeah, or like holy water. They're selling holy water on Etsy.
I'm not surprised. I've heard about holy water being sold for a while. I didn't know it was off of
Yeah,
Etsy though, but I've heard about that before.
yeah, it's from like that river in Israel, and if you look at the label carefully, it says holy water triple blessed. I was
In
like,
case it ain't blessed enough for you,
damn, that shit got blessed 3 times.
right? Like, okay, you gotta
$15, and
boom.
it's like in a little 8-ounce bottle. I was like, damn, like people selling holy water. Like, what are we doing out here?
People been doing that shit since like forever, man. What do they call them, like snake oil salesmen? That used to be like the OG name of them. Was like they would
Yeah,
ride around in like little horse and carriage, and they pull up to a town, be like step right up for if you want immortality, and then they would like present like some kind of bullshit concoction that was probably
yeah,
from a
yeah,
river
yeah.
down that way. Or probably their own piss they peed in the bottle, but they gave it to people like, hey, it's supposed to make you younger. Just take some every night and then dab it on your neck, and then so that people like, yeah, it's been on.
And your troubles will be all gone. And then you
Right.
you, you go back to him, but he's at the next town now. It's like, far
God.
away.
On to his next hustle.
All right, so a metaphysical shop owner is suing the state over the outdated law. Because they want to change the law to where they would allow like these people to practice like tarot readings, palm readings. Because
Right.
Pennsylvania, they're like, Pennsylvania is like kind of like known for being super haunted. Like they have a lot of like historical sites where it has a lot of history and a lot of darkness behind it.
The Civil War was fought, if I'm not mistaken, bro. That is like
Sounds
ground
about right.
zero for like death. I'm pretty sure it was Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me
They,
right. But
they
yeah,
got
that's
like a
like,
lot of like abandoned prisons where now they're using these prisons for like they do tour guides there, like haunted tour guides or whatever. So
oh
yeah, that place
man,
has like a lot of energy of the people that passed over. So I would imagine like I would think like this place is heavy on like tarot reading or psychic reading like
yeah,
Miss Cleo out there like she's
and yeah.
living her best life out there.
Yeah, as far as like America's concerned, I'm not even speaking towards the Native Americans. They've been obviously here way longer than anybody else. But as far as like the beginning of America started, it did start up in the Northeast. So that's when like that whole entire Northeast coast, all the way down to say to Virginia, all got weird stories, man. Like Roanoke Island, where like the first settlers all disappeared and nobody knows what happened to these people, or all type that whole because that was like when America first started settling. So it was like a lot of weird, crazy stories and wars fought up there and stuff, man. And
Yeah, there's a lot of mysteries out
man,
there.
a whole lot, man. It's funny too when you said they do like a lot of ghosts, probably do a lot of ghost tours up there. I thought about that old school MTV show.
Fear.
Man, right?
Yeah.
Yes, bro. That's a classic show.
You know what's crazy? They have like a game on Steam that's like it's almost like Fear. Like they have somebody in the truck, like you can see the cameras of like every location, right? And then you
Right.
guide your friend like through the haunted whatever, the prison. I was like,
That's
this is
awesome.
just like Fear. I was like, I
Exactly,
didn't think of
bro.
this game. Yeah, you're on like a little radio. Well, you
And make
make a
that
make a
left.
make a
That left.
left off that, off block 5 or whatever.
And then the
Cell
person gets
block.
scared, starts running, and you be like, "Hey, don't go back!" You're like, "Damn it,
Yeah,
man!
they got that
Losing
game on
money."
Steam. I was like, this is like based off Fear.
Straight up, man. That is definitely Fear. Oh man, great show.
Yeah,
Don't
so
make TV
like
like they used to.
if this is successful, Pennsylvania will be one of the places that would join places with West Virginia, Virginia and Michigan in trying to, legalize these psychic readers, so they can start making like a living. Because if you think about it, like it's hard out here to make money, right? Because like a lot of the jobs is being outsourced, like not only overseas but now to AI.
Robots, baby. Oh
AI is
man,
doing, dude. AI could take a whole job of a whole lawyer, dude. That's how
man.
strong
I
it
just
is.
found out. I just saw right shit. I was just watching something the other day, and I was gonna probably say I'll probably save it for next week though. But I got a story about how they're now starting to have AI ghost boss. They call it ghost bosses now. Where because I did a couple weeks ago, I did an interview for a job, and it was a one-way interview, and it was basically with an AI machine. It's like, oh, they're removing the man out of the mix now.
That's horrible.
It's man, it's
That's harder.
dystopian future, man. We are here. We are here. They don't even want to talk to you now. You got to run your shit through the ATF resume shit now, and they ain't trying to sit down and talk to you.
Yeah. Fuck
It's
that. That
crazy.
shit's hard now. Like, yeah, like let people do tarot readings.
Man, come on, like
some. I guess you could call that like normal now, right? Like human one-on-one interaction, because
yeah,
you're
that
not
is
giving them
normal.
nothing. You're just, being a
It's like
psychic.
it's like 'cause, to me like same thing. Well, it's not the same thing as this, but it's like prostitution. If it's between two consenting adults and ain't nobody screaming grape, then okay, cool. Then like let them do what they do. What happens between them? That's what they got to do with in their own personal time. If the husband got to
Exactly,
come
yeah.
home, explain to his wife what happened, and that's between them. But people gonna do this regardless. So you might
Regardless.
as well alleviate the situation. Be like, hey, look. Just hey, have these fortune tellers exist and have a job, but make them pay taxes. Shit, it's a business. Shit, tax them.
Yeah, exactly. Just tax them, dude. Because there was like this one psychic shop down the street that opened up, right? It didn't even last like 6 months. Because I was like,
Oh, right down
nobody's
the
going
street?
here. Yeah, it was like in a gas station.
Oh, shit,
I was like, why would you open like a psychic like right here?
man, you would better go off to like little 5 points.
Yeah.
That would be like the cream of the. That would be like the best spot to
Yeah,
do
I
a
was
psych.
like, this is not the spot. It was like right next door to my hot wing spot.
Man, ain't nobody there. Like I'm here to get wings.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? I was like, that's cool, but I was like, you guys set yourself up for failure. Like, it's not gonna last. I already knew it. Like, right in the open, I was like, this is not the spot. Like, you do not know this spot.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you gonna run a fortune teller place, you gotta be like
Yeah, you gotta be in the city
downtown.
somewhere. Yeah, where all the
Yeah,
weird
with
people are at.
foot traffic. Yeah,
No
man, that's what the
offense,
foot traffic.
weird people.
Yeah, that's all right with people of Atlanta.
But the city, like once you get like inner city, in any major city, that's where you get like the melting pot of personalities.
Straight up, man. I
Yeah.
remember last time I was in Atlanta back in March, I was driving through Little Five Points, man. It's been a long time since I drove through there. So, 'cause I live in a small town now. So, when I was at Little Five Points, but it's so many people on that damn strip. And there is a fortune teller place out there too, and a sleep deprivation place out there. So they get foot traffic in Little Five Points, man. So because they have the fortune teller place that's been out there forever, man. That's because it's right at the spot of where
Yeah.
people are always walking through.
That's where I did that float tank.
The sleep deprivation. I've been wanting.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go, man. I just never got around to it.
Yeah, it's right there in a little 5 points, like behind like the building. But there's one like down the street from me over here.
Oh shit!
Yeah, where you could just be floating in salt water. I don't know if they're still there because I don't know how popular it still is.
Yeah, it was kind of like a trend maybe at one point.
Yeah, it definitely was a trend at one point, and I don't know if they're not well educated with like the benefits of float tanks, so it's hard to have a business like that if the people's not educated where they don't understand like oh you just want me to float there for $90
Plain
like,
water.
like, what the hell is gonna happen?
I can't even take off my shorts. I got.
No, I went in there naked, dude.
Oh, you can? I thought you
I
had to wear
said
shorts.
fuck that, I'm balls out, like let's go.
I'm gonna be like a baby, like I'm being born again, like a baby.
I couldn't relax at all, dude. My mind was like running. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I can't relax. And then I had salt water in my eyes. I was like, fuck.
Man, that shit burns, right?
Yeah, it burns.
Oh,
I was like,
God.
okay, this is why they have like a fresh bottle water like next to you so you could spray your eyes.
Yeah, I went swimming in the ocean one time. That salt water got in my eyes. I was like, ah, awful, bro.
Yeah.
Salt water is awful.
Yeah, I got like so bored in there. I started, started touching my legs a little bit.
I'm touching my thighs in
Yeah,
salt water.
I'm bored, man. It's like, what? I was like, I'm in here. I paid for the 90-minute session. I was like, this is a bad idea. I should have did 60-minute. I couldn't relax at all, dude. I was like, fuck.
It's like I'm so used to hearing noise that when I don't hear it, it feels weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. I was like, maybe if I was in a different state of mind, I probably would have enjoyed it more. So I thought about doing it again, but maybe the one down the street if they're still open.
I need to see one if they got one out here because they got like a lot of quirky stuff out here. Like we got like a Smash Lab out here. Man, good stress reliever, man. I
bet.
fucked some shit up in that Smash Lab. So they got they got some pretty cool quirky stuff in this town. I mean, but I needed to see if they got like a deprivation tank. If not, I know for a fact they'll have one in Vegas. I already know, so I ain't got to.
Of course, yeah.
If there's gonna be anywhere, it's gonna be in Vegas.
They should have like a trip lab,
Yes, that'd be cool. Well, actually, I'm going to Vegas again this weekend. I'm gonna go see Ludacris.
Ludacris in Vegas?
Yeah, he's
Is
on
he
a
doing
concert
shows
out there. Yeah, they got a show out here this Saturday. We got tickets for it. 9:30 at night, boy. They doing that shit late. I'm getting old. 9:30 late, bro. That's my video game time. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, I'm like in bed at 9.
Man, yeah, 7 o'clock is when I shut the day down. I'm like, okay, it's time to start wrapping this shit up. I ain't going nowhere else for the rest of the day.
Yeah, 7 for me too.
Next day. Yeah, man. Let me watch my TV show before I go to bed.
Yep. All right, that's all I got for that. I mean, I have another story, but I think we're good though. Are you good, or you want to tell another one?
I'll save my AI boss job for next week. This is like a story that's scaring everybody, so I'll save for next week.
Yeah, we could do that because since you're gonna be doing like the AI next week, there's like another article about AI, how people is looking at AI like a prophet.
Oh, man, it's only a matter of time, man. Like,
holy shit, Messiah, is that you?
I worship the Messiah algorithm. Like, oh man, it's a wrap, bro. It's over.
Alien intervention, like in the flesh, man, where it starts affecting everybody. But yeah, dude, it's happening, dude.
Yeah, man, it's fascinating and scary at the same time.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace out. Adios.
See you guys.